When you make the decision for 2025 to be the year you stop pretending and actually live a life in alignment and a life that is authentic to you, your world will grow, you will glow up, your life will be amazing, you will fall in love with your life. Yes, fall in love with your life. Imagine that, actually being able to say to people, I love my life. Like, how good does that feel? I love my life. If you would like to do that, be sure to keep watching this video, as I'm going to be breaking down the things that you can do to make sure that you live a life in alignment this year and live a life that is authentic to you. So firstly, not being in alignment looks like you're feeling down, you feel disappointed, you feel miserable, things aren't really going your way. The pivotal one for me is you cannot make decisions. It's really hard to make a decision because you're making decisions on things that aren't in alignment with you. It's like, oh, what's the worst, the best, the bad situation kind of thing, the bad decision. This one that I don't really want to do, or this thing that I don't really want to do. That is what it is like when you are not in alignment, when you're not in spiritual alignment. Instead, you want to be in a position when you go, oh, I've got this choice. Oh my gosh, I've got this choice. I've got this choice. That's amazing. I have all these amazing choices and decisions that I can make, that it then feels like any choice you make is not a wrong choice. It is not a wrong decision. That is where you want to be. That is being more authentic. That is being more in alignment with your life and where you're meant to be and who you're meant to be. And when you get there, oh my God, trust me, it feels amazing. Now, warning before I go into this further, this is something you'll need to practice regularly. This isn't something you can just decide one time, I've made a decision and that's it. So I might have done this for 2-3 years now, that I made a decision to do this, and I made a decision to stop pretending that I like my job, to stop pretending I like my life, to stop pretending and be authentic. And I have to continually practice this daily. Now, it might seem like that's being really dramatic or a lot, but it is just this shift in perspective and this change in what you do every day and changing your routines. That is where the magic happens. That is where you get the modern magic, the mystic that you would like to be, and you get to be more spiritual and you move into more alignment with yourself. What I'd like you to do right now is make a decision, put your hand up, make a declaration and say, from this moment, I make a decision that 2025 is the year I stop pretending. I stop pretending and I start living a life that is more authentic to myself, is more aligned with my soul's purpose, and it's fun. It is fun. It is a life that I want to live. It is joy-filled and I'm going to love it. Make that declaration now, make that decision, because once you verbalize it, you say it out loud, it might feel really awkward and you don't quite believe it, right? I'm sure some of you have just done that now. It feels like, oh God, like, oh, it doesn't feel great, but it just takes practice. It's just because you're not used to making those sort of decisions and making those declarations, and it's change. And it's where your mind and your body, everything goes, what? We didn't discuss that. Wait, hold on a minute. You know, it's like kind of panic stations kind of feel, but just make that decision and then everything starts flowing from there. So please, if you haven't done so already, make that declaration and make it right now. One of the biggest lessons you will now need to make as well is saying no thanks. No thanks. Do you want to come out and do this with us? Oh, hey, you need to go and do this. Or will you do this extra work project for me tonight? Or can you stay late to finish this project for somebody else? Whatever it might be, get into the habit of saying no thanks, no thank you, no, that doesn't work for me, that's not something I can do. You know, we can dress it up and make it sound nice and less sort of offensive, or however you want to do it, but just get in your mind now and just make again that decision of, I'm going to say no more. I'm going to say no thanks to those things that are not in alignment with me. They're not authentic. They stop me doing things that I need to be doing for myself. I need to be doing for my own spiritual alignment. I need to be doing for my own well-being, my emotional well-being, my spiritual well-being, my mental well-being, my physical well-being, right? Like when we start making those decisions to put ourselves first and be who we really are big things change, and we will come up against some conflict, negativity. There's always something that comes up, but when you just stand firm and you stay strong, you say no thank you. It's so funny because just the other day my husband said to me, this is what I do, and he said, you're just so stubborn. And I thought, and I said to him too, it's not being stubborn, actually. It's me standing my ground and saying, no, I don't want to do that. That doesn't fit me. That's not in alignment with it. No, thanks. It's just people aren't used to hearing people say no. Of course, I'm English and I live in England, and in the British culture, it's so rude to say no. Like, we have to be so polite, and we should always help, and being female, help and help and help again and do more. So when we learn to say no and we start bringing it into our life, big things happen, big changes happen. Space opens up, space for us to then decide what we can do. We start doing different things, we start opening our own minds, and things start to change. So practice no, no thank you, no thanks, not today. That's not something I can do at this moment. However you want to dress it up, but just start getting the habit of practicing that, and that will make one of the biggest changes of your life for this year. Another thing is give yourself permission to do this. Give yourself permission. You don't need to wait for your partner, your friend, your mum, your dad, society, whatever it might be that we always seem to wait for to say that you can do this. Allow yourself to give yourself permission. Grant yourself that responsibility to say, I can do this. I am going to live a life that's more authentic. I'm going to live a life that's more aligned to who I am and what I want and what I would like to achieve in my life. I give myself permission to do that. You might be thinking, like, why would I need to give myself permission? But if you think about it, since we were little, it doesn't matter what kind of upbringing we've had, but since we were little, we always looked for an adult to say whether we can do something. We're always looking for that validation from somebody else, like always. And school is such a perfect example of that, that you have to ask permission to do something all the time. Can I go to the toilet? I finished? Can I go and colour now? Can I go and play outside? You know, like whatever it might be, right? That's just some very simple, generic kind of things, but we all experience it, and we get into such a habit of a very young child to do that. That habit doesn't tend to go because it's in our society. We've got to ask permission to do something. We've got to ask permission to go somewhere, to be something, whatever it might be. And it's so ingrained in us that when we then want to do something different, we're like, well, we need to ask permission. But I always think, but who from? Who? Who are you waiting for someone to say, yes, you can do that? Like, who? Who is it? You know, it's so interesting to me when I started my business and my spiritual business, and I remember thinking, I don't think I'm allowed to do that. Or I don't think I'm allowed to post those videos. Or I don't think I'm allowed to say stuff like that. Or I don't think I'm allowed to say my actual opinion on something. I need to ask permission. I don't think I'm allowed. Why? Who's going to say, you know, I'm not being rude or offensive. Like, who says I shouldn't do that? You know, like, who makes that up? And I know there's laws and rules of society. I get that. And I'm not talking about that. I know I'm not. I'm just specifically saying those day-to-day things of, why can't I make changes? Why can't I make a choice? Why can't I be more authentic? Why can't I quit my 9-to-5 job, go part-time in a smaller job, cover my bills and start a business? Why can't I do that? I give myself permission to do that. I give myself permission to live a life in alignment with who I am meant to be. The reason I am meant to be here on this planet, on this earth, at this time. I allow myself to find that out. I allow myself to do that. I give myself permission to live an authentic life, a life true to me. I know you're here because you know there is a better life for you. You're facing your fears because you know there is a better existence for you. You know there's something better out there. You want to live a life that you love and you fall in love with and you can connect to and you really get in alignment with. That's what got me. When I was in my corporate job, I just wanted to love my career, and I kind of didn't get it when I would be around other women and they'd be raving about their careers, and I think, why don't I love what I'm doing? And I would bounce, and I did bounce from job to career, job, career, job, career. And I went through a variety of different things, just to name a few. I've been cabin crew before, so air hostess. I'm actually a teacher. I qualified as a teacher, and I can teach secondary school and college education, adult learners as well. I've been operations manager. I've worked in very corporate environments. I've just bounced. I've been an administrators. I've been in hotel work, front of house management. I've done all of that, right? And yet I wasn't fully happy, and I knew that this wasn't fully in line with me. It might have been the temporary thing at that moment, but it was not the long-term thing. It was not the long end goal for me, because I knew I could live a better life. I knew I could be more authentic. And in order to do that, you have to accept that you need to face your fears. And that can be, again, one of the hardest things to do. But coming back and giving yourself permission to do that, give yourself permission to fail at times, give yourself permission to succeed as well, and do that. And that is what will lead you into an authentic life. Stop pretending that you are in alignment at this moment in time in your life. Make the decision that 2025 is your year that you live a life in alignment and you start your spiritual journey. Hashtag spiritual journey right there. Oh my gosh. Because honestly, you'll be so grateful that you did. And a year from now, you're going to look back and think, oh, I'm really glad I listened to that Joanne Moore. I'm glad I listened to that video, and I decided to do it. And I decided to do it with her, and I went all in. And I made that choice, and I made that decision. If this is you right now, I will put down below a cutting the cord practice and a gratitude practice completely for free. I really recommend you start on the cutting the cords practice first, clear some of this old energy, these old patterns and beliefs and things that are just holding you where you are. And then you can start putting your life into alignment. You can start making some decisions. I do have my book as well, my guidebook, that is available to purchase. I'll put down below a link to that. It's called Girl Stop Making Me Feel Bad, and it is spiritual practices that you can do that will help you move into that spiritual alignment and really support your spiritual journey. All the details in the description box. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel and liking this video. My name is Joanne Moore, and I'll catch you in the next video.